Did you guys see the election in Michigan? What were your thoughts on that? I'm so curious. The uncommitted vote
Mm.
supposed to get
It
10,000
was
ended up getting over
I was blown away
100,000.
personally.
Yeah.
it was great to see, honestly.
Mhm.
I wasn't expecting them to break 100K, and they did.
No.
Yeah.
I know people were like, "Oh, they purposely said only thought they would get 10K and to keep expectations low to begin with."
Such
Well, I'm
cope.
sure they did. I'm sure they did do that. I'm sure they did say 10K instead of, like, I don't know, 20 or 25K.
Yeah, I think at most they got
I don't
20.
Yeah, I don't think they thought they were gonna break 100K.
Yeah.
And also, again, you had people come out to vote for uncommitted. It's basically the most, like, you often say people go out to vote for somebody, right? But they didn't to do that. You got over 100,000 people to go out just to vote in a way that voices their disapproval of what the president is doing. That's not easy. That's not, you can't even get 100K people out there to vote for an actual person that they supposedly believe in and support and want to be the next whatever it is they're voting for. Like, that's
I think it
crazy.
a good
It's
measure
inspiring.
for how successful it was, and typically this is a good measure for this kind of thing, is does a place like Morning Joe or CNN, are they discredit are they finding ways to be able to downplay it, or are even they surprised and actually discussing this issue and actually discussing it seriously? Like Morning Joe, he was even like, yeah, this is something that Biden has to worry about. And CNN discussed this in depth. He brought Mehdi Hassan on, I think, yesterday to discuss it as well. So they recognize that this is a serious issue. And 100,000 people, man, like that's you are really
like the
hitting the nail.
percentage. The percentage does not matter. It was never about the percentage that it got. People were like, it didn't even hit 15%. That doesn't matter. It was the raw number that mattered, because the point of this uncommitted vote was to say, hey, you won Michigan in 2020 by just a couple, like 100,000. I think it was 150,000.
155,000, they beat it, and Donald Trump beat Hillary Clinton by 10,477 votes. I think I looked it up the other day.
So
10,477.
So basically, for Joe Biden, if he doesn't do anything, he has to hope that he has enough turnout. Like, if he's just writing those 110,000 plus uncommitted voters off completely, he's got to hope that everyone who turned out in 2020 turns out. Donald Trump did not gain anyone, which, as the incumbent president that Biden is, there's certainly going to be people who cross back over. That's just how some people vote. Some people, they're unhappy with how things currently are, so they just vote for the other guy. No matter what the politics are, that's just how some people are. It's a general election. The entire country's voting. Most people don't pay attention to politics the way we do on this show. They're unhappy with their current status. They blame the current president and vote for the other guy. So he's got to hope that none of this stuff happens. He gets all of his same turnout, which is not going to happen. And that only then everything will be fine if he's going to write all those people off.
Yeah, and
I think,
it's sorry, go ahead, David.
I was going to say, I think before October 7th, he was having problems in Michigan, and like it was already too close. So, I mean, it's going to be tough. He really has to turn it around, drastically change policy towards Israel to get a lot of those people back. I think a lot of them he's already lost, because a lot of people have family there, right? They lost family there. Like, for them to go out and vote for Biden, even if you want to try and argue with them or try to explain what Trump would be like, it doesn't. These people lost family. Like, you can't. There's no changing that. So it's just. He lost a lot of people already. It's going to be a serious fight there, and as I said, already was a fight, I think, before this even happened.
I mean, he's also made it clear to the Muslim and Arab American community that he just doesn't view them as, at the very least, an important voting bloc, and that's at the very least. At the very most, he doesn't even view them as equal humans to other people that he cares about. Like that's the thing too. Like he it's not even just like he's been like empathetic and, put stuck between a rock and a hard place, but put on the show to let, Muslim Americans and Arab Americans know that he cares and he's doing what he can. There hasn't even been that. He just doesn't fucking care. Mm-hmm. He has shown them no empathy, has denied even the number of deaths there, has just made up lies about what has happened. He just does not even give a shit. And it's honestly one of the most depressing things I've ever seen a president do, honestly, seriously.
Right.
Like,
could you imagine if Donald Trump wins? Like, and especially with all that talk, it's like, we have to stop fascism. He's a fascist, Project 2025. He's quoting Mein Kampf. Like, this is really bad. But if you did that to support a far right government, like that was your choice. Like if it comes down to, because of how Michigan is flexing now, you won't get those 16 electoral college votes. You need those. Like, your pathway mathematically becomes almost impossible unless you have some other method that we don't know about from the last election, that you're going to flip a whole bunch more electoral college seats. So if that's the case, if this is the pathway, that's your choice then, libs. You get one of two things. You can't have both, right? You can't both support Israel and stop Donald Trump. You got to choose one of those two things. What's more important to you right now?
And really, Michigan is a test for other states too, right? Because it's not the only state with a large Arab and Muslim population. Arizona also has that as well. But there's also more backlash that's building. Because Colorado, now there's an organization to get them to vote uncommitted. The largest union in Washington state, they endorsed uncommitted. So this is building. It's getting bigger, and it's a problem that's not going away. And there was a Politico article that came out before the election where Biden's administration was apparently freaking out about this uncommitted vote. And now the response, and I have a video about the response from the Biden administration tomorrow, but basically his national campaign co-chair, Mitch Landrieu, he is taking this as a messaging problem and not a genocide problem, because the response that they gave to listen to Michigan was that, and I'm paraphrasing, you could watch my video tomorrow, they basically have to be more effective in communicating that Trump is going to do a Muslim ban. And that's how they can convince these people to vote for Joe Biden.
So it's so cooked. They're so cooked if they do that.
It's just, it feels hopeless.